Your game.
What about it?
It sucks.
I know, but what can I do to make it better?
Add a guy.
What?
And so I did what the game split told me and made a Minotaur and gave him some terrible abs genetics. Oh, and welcome to the next Curse Horizon devlog. And so I put him into the game and yeah, you're right, he does need inverse kinematics. You don't actually know what inverse kinematics means? Well, fear not, because I'm sort of an expert on this subject and yeah, I have no idea either. But who needs ideas when you can just have pain, right? So after like 2 hours, I did actually manage to inverse the kinematics, and correctly this time. But wait, you say, this isn't a fearsome Minotaur, that's just a friendly kettle. And well, you are correct, because if you use your gaming design skill and look really closely, you can actually see that the Minotaur doesn't have an attack animation yet. And that's exactly what you're gonna do. But first I need to fix a problem that I encounter about way too goddamn often. And that is that I just can't make a good striking animation because the arms aren't long enough to reach the weapon. So I wrote some code that moves the arms towards the weapon when it's too far away and hopefully makes the gap a bit more tolerable. Anyways, enough of this boring stuff. Cue up the epic animation montage. For the attacks I went with kind of a dynamic idea. The Minotaur relentlessly follows the player, swinging his chunky axe, and eventually closes the gap with a big jump, making the boss fight quite intense at times. And when he gets the chance, he will charge you head on. This attack presents a deliberately large opportunity for you as a player to deal some damage to him, if you can dodge it. If you can't, well... So the boss is obviously way too underpowered, so I gave him an enraged state, which basically works the same way as taking away Roblox skibidi-toilet TikTok from a child. It becomes angrier, more aggressive, and overall more physically capable. With the boss being, sort of, done, I wanted to continue following my plan and make some big gameplay system changes. Because, I don't know if you noticed, but it's pretty hard to find a melee dungeon crawler top-down game, and I only have 2 possible explanations for this. It is either such a sophisticated idea that nobody in the $200 billion gaming industry ever thought of, or it just might not be the best gameplay choice. I reckon it's the first one, but there are still some pretty drastic changes I would like to implement. But me being me, I of course got completely sidetracked from this decision and spent quite a bit of time implementing a responsive camera controller and correcting a tiny little oversight I made in the last devlog. You see this? Yeah, there is no minimap, so poof! Now there is. Also, what the hell is that? And why am I using it as a dungeon door sprite? There, this is a much nicer design that you certainly have not seen in any RPG top-down bullet hell game released on December 2nd, 2021. Okay, no more excuses, let's reshape the old gameplay. In situations like this, it's super important to be careful and not do anything stupid, because it could completely destroy any balance in your game you make. Psych! I doubled the amount of enemies, changed the progression system and the enemy behavior. So yeah, I noticed that the gameplay is just a bit too passive and slow-paced, but some tweaks to controls and redesigning the enemy behavior to force the player to be more aggressive should help it. For example, I changed the shooter to leave a trail under his shots, which damages the player and therefore makes him a bit more important to chase down. And as I was making this trail and projectile collide with the player's attack to implement some sort of blocking, this happened. Hold up, I had a thrust function all this time? That's right, all this time I had a different attack for the player that I just completely forgot about. Granted, it looks terrible as it is, but that can be changed and it gave me an idea. Combos. Or rather just one simple combo. There really is no room for a complicated combat system in this game. With that out of the way, I get to cut a lot of dead weight from the gameplay. So no more shops, now you can collect simple bonuses that are scattered around the map and find these magic stones that let you choose your class. Yeah, I stole the idea from Skyrim, take that Bethesda. And as for healing, I just couldn't afford to make some static structures that heal you, because that would result in awful lot of passive gameplay and backtracking, and I just have hard time balancing that. So the system I made is that enemies drop these souls that heal you on the go. Maybe I'll add more to it like potions and stuff, but for now let's keep it this way. Last but not least, it was time to give the Arcade Endless mode a bit more love. Specifically, I got rid of the shops and just gave the player a couple of points to spend on upgrades after each wave. The fun part comes from the fact that only half of these stats appear each wave. So the question is whether or not it's worth spending points on an upgrade that would potentially be 3 times cheaper next round, but you don't know whether it will appear often enough. This kind of dilemma is also reinforced with the mechanic that lets you spend a point to fully heal. Choose wisely. And with that, we are nearing the end of this devlog. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to this channel. That's gonna be it from me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next devlog. Bye bye!